Hi everyone, look what I have here. I just dug up my old Brother label printer. It's been sitting around for several years now without being used. And lately I've had an idea to organize all the stuff I have in my garage that are in bins. So I decided to resurrectionize this little Brother label printer and print out QR codes so I can place them on all my storage bins and then pull up a Google Doc that shows what's stored inside each bin. And I'll show you my system, and maybe you can leverage what I've done and maybe use it yourself and see if it works for you. So let me show you what I've got. So some other tidbits of information for this Brother label printer that I resurrectionized. It's a pretty nifty printer actually. It's set up Wi-Fi right now, so I can print to it basically anywhere from my house, and it prints and cuts really quickly. So I'm kind of glad that I had this idea to create these QR codes for these storage bins, and I was able to bring this label printer back to life and put some use to it. So here's all the stuff that I use in my system for keeping track of all the items that are in each storage bin. I want to keep it simple, so I use Google Sheets online to create a spreadsheet that has basically different tabs or sheets for each bin. For instance, if you look at the bottom, I have camp box, storage cabinet, lathe storage, and right now I have storage cabinet highlighted, and you can see what I have in each sheet. I have the general description, the location, the contents, and to make it easier for creating a new bin, I created a template that basically has all the information that I need for my storage inventory. And I just go ahead, right click on template, click on duplicate, and rename it to whatever you want to call your new bin. And it may not even have to be a bin. It could be a storage cabinet like I have in the garage, or a shelf, or a filing cabinet. And once you create your spreadsheet, then on my phone, make sure you have Google Docs, Google Sheets loaded. So let me show you what I have on my phone here. So on my phone, if you notice, I have Google Sheets loaded as far as the app, and that's the app that pops up when I use my QR code reader. And let me go ahead and show you which QR scanner software or app I'm using on my phone. If you open up Google and do a search on QR code generator software, the software I'm using is installed on my PC already, and it's by tech-it.com right here. And if you go to this website, you can download it for Mac and for Windows. And of course, I've installed the Windows version on this laptop. And if you look, this is the QR code Studio by Tech-it. And let me show you what I do to generate the QR code. Okay, so when you create a Google Sheet and you create a tab or sheet for each bin. When you look at the URL for each bin, you'll notice that the very numbers at the end will change. The numbers correspond to each tab at the bottom. So it's a unique URL. And what you can do is basically copy this URL and put it into a QR code generator to create your actual QR code. Highlight, right click, and copy the URL, which is specific to this camp box in this Google Sheet, and then go to the QR code generator software and basically paste it here. Let me delete that and paste it. And here you go. This QR code label is specific to the URL that I just pasted, and it's specific for the camp box URL. And if you right click on it, you can copy to clipboard as an image. And I go into my Brother label software. This is the software that I use for my Brother printer. It's called P-Touch Editor, and it's specifically meant for the label printer. But I suppose you can use even Word, Microsoft Word, to create labels, because from the QR code generator, you can basically paste that image into a label in Microsoft Word, for example, and create your own QR label that way. But since I'm using my Brother label printer, I'm using the software specifically for it. But it's fairly easy to use. Here I'm opening it up, and I found out if I go into address, and if I choose small address, I can use this as my template to create my QR code label. And what I've done was basically delete the address part and use this for the description. And then once you've generated your QR code label / image, I'll just make sure you copy it to the clipboard, and I go back into my software here, and you may be using a word processor like Microsoft Word, like I mentioned before, and you paste it and just place it where you want it, and then click on print, and then it spits it out really quick. And there you go. Pretty straightforward. So I can test it. If, let's say, this label is on my camp box, I can open up my QR scanner software and basically you scan it. Oops. And it opens up Google Sheets on my phone, and if you notice at the very bottom, I have camp box on there, and if you look, they're all the items that are in that camp box. But let me show you a couple of, well, one setting that I set in this QR scanner app. So one thing you want to do when you set up the QR scanner app, you want to go into the settings of this app. If you click on the 3 dots at the top right, and you want to make sure that Open Safe Web Pages automatically is checked. And when you have that checked, when you scan a QR code label, it will automatically open up the Google Sheet at the appropriate tab. So in this case, if you scan this QR label, it'll make sure it's safe. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see that it opened up the Camp Box tab in this Google Sheet. And I can look through this Google Sheet easily and see what's stored in that particular bin. Alrighty, so let me go and show you an example of how I have it set up here. And one thing I've noticed, the best thing to do if you're doing multiple scans is to close out the Google Sheet each time you're done with that sheet after you've looked at all the items within that bin. But found out this is the best method of doing it. If you click on scan another code, and this software is pretty quick actually. And I can, for example, go there, it'll open it up. And if you look, it's on the parts tab and it shows you all that I have in this particular bin. And if I close it out again, I can scan another code and then go here. Oops. And if you look, it's on diving gear, and has all the stuff that I have stored in there. And if you look here, all different bins I have. And there's a label on my camping box. I have labels down here. And I haven't labeled everything yet, but sometime this week I hope to get to it. But you need to be diligent and in updating whatever you take out or put in each box. So that's pretty much up to you how much effort you want to put into keeping the contents accurate for each bin. Anyway, this is the system that I use. It works well for me. I just got it set up this weekend. But let me know if it works for you, or if you have any other ideas or any other apps or software that works better, go ahead and leave a comment. But thanks. Bye-bye.